You know, the next issue that we raised in the letter, which was this whole sort of matter of public consultation, right? That there was not, you know, where was the discussion? Where is the discussion? I wanted to raise it. I just want to say this is an example of faulty process. You know, we had another guy who pointed out, Bernard von Schulman, who's a political analyst, and he went through, you know, some of this various stuff with the cost estimates, and he said, you know, $62 million, $63 million price of this bridge. Class C estimate, apparently, I'm not an engineer, but he said Class C estimate is not worth the paper it's printed. And he sort of analyzed the schedule. This is the schedule that was presented or prepared by the engineering department for this whole project. And you go through, you know, these various things. The assumed deadline. This is where the funding is supposed to be announced. You know, they hoped middle of August. That's already passed. One that kills me is the time for community stakeholder consultation is 2 weeks in July. That's, you know, blink and you miss it. What if the herring are 3 weeks late? You know, it's like, well, then you got to move like all this stuff and like everything, you know, shifts. You know, another thing, which somebody actually just pointed out to me today, is, you know, one of the contingencies that has to be taken into consideration is lawsuits. The window for completion of this thing to meet the March 2011 deadline is really, really, really tight. And every day after March 2011, and the time gets smaller and smaller with each passing day, we end up paying for it. You know, the homelessness, which is what this council was largely elected to deal with, you know, should be a priority for the city instead of building a bridge. You know, you want to talk about that, that's great. What happens is if you get the 6,400 signatures and they're validated by City Hall, then the issue goes to a referendum. That does not kill the bylaw. That forces a referendum on the bylaw. So this is going to be an interesting dilemma with this one, especially if the city does not get the money and, you know, then tries to sell the citizens on $63 million.
A public hearing with a group such as ourselves all turning up for it, that I think would have more effect than anything. That's not all that I was saying.
Okay, thank you. Well, this is just the beginning. You know, there will be more meetings and more discussions, and you know, the city is going to start holding some of their own as well.
Yeah, the bridge has got to be replaced, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But I also support the failure of the city council to answer questions or provide information.
Mm-hmm.
That has been my experience for 12 years, that they've done virtually no traffic flow studies on this issue. One engineer, when I confronted him with it, he said, well, what we're planning is to reduce the number of cars, and people will be riding bikes. Well, that's simply pie in the sky. By the way, the engineers will tell you that this bridge, the current bridge, is better under seismic because it isn't anchored on both sides.
Yes.
That makes it less vulnerable to earthquake situations.
The heritage and beauty of the existing bridge. You know, a couple of people have talked to us about that. Great, you know, go for it. You know, we're not trying to coordinate all of these things. We just want to, you know, sort of enable people who feel strongly about this to get in touch with each other.